We're out again today, a nice day, and we're working a little bit of ground that's been done a couple of times before, but we're going to clear off some of the old tailings and old overburden and just see what anything was missed the last time and see how we get on. There's a nice piece of bedrock here I'm going to shoot at the moment, rolling down at an angle into the bottom of the river, and we're going to clear off some of the overburden, move some of the gravels off the bottom and have a look and see what we can find. So I thought I'd do a wee video today. Haven't done one for a long time, and show you what we're up to, show you what we find, and hopefully we'll have a good day. The area we're working just around this big piece of bedrock that's sticking to the river. You can see there's broken bedrock all along the bottom there, and a channel where any gold may have been coming into it. There's a nice quartz vein running right across the river. At the moment it's quite hard to show you with the shine on the water, but the plan is to take a few buckets of all this loose stuff that's been built up from old tailings, see what's underneath it, see if there's any bedrock or anywhere where the gold might be catching. We had very little success just upstream, but we found one nice crack with about 6 grams in the one crack, very little else, so we're hoping for maybe another crack that's been missed in the past, and maybe see if we can get a few more grams added on today. Okay, some of you guys have been asking me about sluices and setting them up, and I make my own, so I'm definitely no Freddy Dodge, but I've been making these for about 3 years and getting used to setting them up and how they should run. So just to give you a basic idea of what's happening, we've channeled some rocks at the top to divert a little bit more water onto the flare plate, and we have it coming down this little run here into the sluice. You need a little bit of a drop. There's no exact angle or exact flow rates, you'll get that yourself. But if you see this nice V in the water coming down the middle, that's what you're looking for. That means the sluice is quite level, you get a nice flow, and everything should be set fairly evenly at that. You want that V right in the middle. If it's going to one side, it isn't straight and you need to adjust it a little bit. If the sluice is running too fast, you can lift the flare plate up a little bit, let a little bit of water underneath it, or you can remove some of the rocks, a little bit of the river flow out either side. Or if it's running too slow, you can put some rocks in place like this and just channel a little bit more water into it. You can see there just a couple of buckets through the black sands and the heavies are starting to build up behind the drop riffles. And what you're really looking for is to see all the material moving. I'm not sure how well that will show up, but you want to see the material moving and dancing about inside the riffles, and that's the way you know the heavies are being swapped in for the light material. Doing is just lift out this overburden here, this gravel and stuff. We're going to process it all. We found a few little bits of flour gold in. But I classify my materials down to one of these things into a bucket of water, and it's just a question of throwing it in with a shovel or a spade, washing it around. Just an ordinary garden riddle. Have a quick check that there's no massive life-changing nuggets in it before I write my retirement notice for work, and just somewhere out of your road where it's not going to be a nuisance later on. So when you get a bucket of material classified down to that sort of level, that's it ready for the sluice. It's one of the bigger sluices I have, and my drain mat sluice, you can just put it through unclassified. But for the sluice we run today, it needs to be classified down to get a nice even spread of it as it runs down. So we'll move this over. I'll put some in the sluice and let you see what I'm up to. So I tend to feed this sluice quite quickly. Because there's a good flow on it, and there's no reason not to. I just shake it in, feather it across the flare plate. And this is a lot faster than panning. You can just keep scooping it in. You see all the material moving, it's turning over itself the whole time. Just letting the heavies down into the drop riffles, and letting the light material just wash down and out the back of it. What I look for any you guys that have got a sluice off me is when these two top sections of the expanded metal at the first two riffles below the two nugget traps is clear, then it's ready for a bit more material. That means if it doesn't get caught on the V-matting, it doesn't go in the nugget traps, you've still got two of these other areas down here. The bottom of the sluice very rarely has any material in it, but because I run it all day before I do a clean out, I'll leave it there just in case anything moves down. long as there's some expanded metal showing anywhere in the sluice, there's places for gold to be cut. It does move further down. Check the riffles early on. You can tell roughly if you're in the right area or not, because you see it gets very black. There's a lot of black sands built up behind the riffles. As the lights get washed away, the heavier stuff gets left behind, and the shinier fine gravels is obviously the heavier stuff. Well, I don't know if it's obvious or not, but it's something that I've learned from watching Gary and Two Toes and Jeff. The heavy shiny stuff is what you want to keep. There's also so many pieces of black hematite in it, which is a good sign because it's very heavy. I'll get you a piece of hematite later on and I'll show you that in the video. And I see a little bit of gold starting to appear along the sides there, along both sides. As the water forces the gold out the sides, you'll get two lines coming down either side of the sluice box of your fine flood gold. And there's also a little piece of blacky stuff in there, but I'll show you that at the end when I'm panning it out. Hopefully there'll be a lot more by then, but it's not bad. It's a good start just for a couple of buckets of fine flood gold. I have a lot of the overburden cleared now, and you can see that's the bedrock running down there. There's a little bit of a channel. You see the cobble still in the bottom of it there, coming down the middle. If you ever watch any of Polly sniping videos, he's looking for this in much bigger rivers where these are already cleared out. There's only a little bit of packed gravel in the bottom. But unfortunately in this river, it's so gravel everywhere, and you've no choice but to dig off the overburden to get down to those deeper levels. This is my panning pal Ian, comes out with me. If you take a look now, we've cleared off all that overburden, and Ian has now got his knee in the front of the hole that we've dug. And it's been good. Just show him how deep it is there, Ian, without going up to your neck. It's about 1.5 foot, 2 foot deep, so we've cleared a lot of tailings, a lot of overburden. And we've just run everything through the sluice, and it's looking very healthy. So that's the job started. There's about one more day's work on that hole. There's plenty of gold showing in the sluice box, and indeed we found two nice little pieces that I'll show you at the end as we've been going. End of the day, it's been very productive. We've had 1, 2, 3 nice chunks, and the sluice has got lots of gold in it. So we have it out here, and a couple of pieces down in the nugget trap. Little black pieces. I'm not sure how well these show up, it's getting quite dark at night. There's a nice little black chunky piece there. There's gold lines right down both sides that I was chatting about earlier on. And nice little gold pieces there. There, really fat square bit on a finger. You see it? Nice little angled piece. Oh, so I'm going to wash this out, and then I'm going to bring the concentrates home because it's starting to get dark and the midges are chewing us alive. And I'm going to do a clean out of the house later on, probably as Gary would say, Two Toes, you guessed it folks, it's the next day. So it probably will be the next day because it's going to be quite late and I'm tired. But I think we've done very well, I'm interested to see, and I'll show you the little pieces that we found earlier on as well. With the metal detector, we got 3 of those. I should have filmed them, but I was kind of busy. When you lift the riffle plate, you can see all the black sands that are built up behind each drop riffle, as well as the gold. I was chatting to you earlier on about the heavy materials that I saw when we were working that looked quite promising, and that is hematite. And where I find big chunks of hematite in rivers like this, it's always a good sign because it's very, very heavy. You can hear the weight of it. Nearly like iron, but it's not magnetic like magnetite, but same sort of thing if you have a magnetite. See how shiny it is? It looks nice in a fish tank. It's usually on quartz as well. You see that's a quartz through it. There's a more rounded piece. And there's lots and lots and lots of pieces of hematite all through the sluice box, caught in the riffles. So that's always the last thing to go before the gold. And old black sand, it's always a nightmare to pan out, but I'll show you that later on. See some of the heavier pieces there, so there we go. Nice pan, some chunkier pieces there, some little lumps. And we've got
There's a piece of lead as well. I'd ask you all not just to bring your rubbish home with you when you go out panning, but if you find any lead in the river, please take it out. Just helps do your bit to clear the river up. So there we are.
Okay, we've had a very, very successful day on the Sluice Box today. We've got some nice little chunky pieces of gold and quite a bit of fine gold. We've had great fun because the weather's been lovely and the Sluice Box has been running very well, the Drop Riffle Sluice Box. And I've got some gold to show you for our way up. I've cleaned up all the cons. I've dried them out in the pan and it's not shiny when you dry it out, but even so, give you a better idea of the weight. We've got 3 very nice pieces there and then some chunky stuff. All out of the Sluice Box, the drop riffles, most of it in the nugget trap and the stuff at the top. Rolling. Okay, the biggest piece we found today was in the very first nugget trap, and it's a nice little spiky looking piece of gold, a little nose on it, and it weighs 1.54 grams, so it's officially a nugget. I call anything over a gram a nugget, so we'd call that our first nugget. I don't think these are going to hit the gram mark, but they're interesting. The next one we got is on quartz. I'll wet it for you, do you see? There's a lot of quartz through it with gold, like a little bit of reef gold or something. It's also quite nice. It is not going to be a nugget, but it's half of a nugget, 0.51 picker. And this is another little piece. It's on quartz again, and it's got an eye kind of thing in the middle. I'm not sure what that is. I've looked under a microscope, but it's hard to tell if it's just a little shiny stone stuck in there or a piece of quartz or exactly what it is. It's very hard to see. I haven't got a great microscope. But again, it's a nice little piece and it weighs 0.91. So our 3 chunky pieces in total are coming to 2.95 grams. And on top of that, we also got some fine gold, which I'll weigh up now. See what we have in fine gold. Tear the scales. This is what we've got in. Well, as I say fine, it's not fine at all. It's actually very coarse. It's nearly all quite chunky, like sort of pickers and small pickers. And there's very, very little fine gold. There was lots of hematite in the river and lots of black sands. And it was just kind of on a big, smooth bit of bedrock, but it must have been getting stuck in between the boulders that were sort of wedged in the bottom. Quite a few sections, there was nothing in it. And then there was little pockets that were very good. So 4.73 grams in the rest of it. You can see some of the pieces like that in particular are very, very black, very, very dark. And that's ironstone. I think it's ironstone on the rock. I've tried all sorts of things to clean them up, make them a bit shinier. But so far nothing's worked. My next one's going to be hydrochloric acid or just some very strong white wine vinegar or white vinegar and see if that works. I'd like them a bit shinier. Some people think they're nice as specimens they got on the ironstone, but I like them shiny. So the total we have for the day is our 4.73 plus our 3 chunky pieces. A grand total of 7.69 grams, which I'm very happy with. We only run the sluice for about 6 hours maybe. Quite a bit of shoveling, a lot of material through it, but we ran it quite fast and a very, very good cleanup. So that's the end of our day's sluicing on the Drop Riffle Sluice Box. Some of you are asking about how it runs. I hope that's of use to you, how we were working it. And that's it.